Hi everyone. So picking up where we left off last time, as I read through the Bible, we are on Genesis 39. Okay. When Joseph was taken to Egypt by the Ishmaelite traders, he was purchased by Potiphar, the Egyptian officer. Potiphar was a captain of the guard of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. The Lord was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did. As he served in the home of the Egyptian master, Potiphar noticed that and realized it, and that the Lord was with Joseph, giving him success in everything he did. This pleased Potiphar, so soon he made Joseph his personal attendant. He put him in charge of the entire household and everything he owned. From from the day Joseph was put in charge his master's household and property, the Lord began to bless Potiphar's household and for Joseph's sake. All his household affairs ran smoothly, and his crops and his livestock flourished. So Potiphar gave Joseph complete administrative responsibilities over everything that he owned. With Joseph there, he didn't worry about a thing except what kind of food he would eat, what kind of food he would eat. Joseph was very handsome and a well-built young man, and Potiphar's wife soon began to look at him lustfully. "Come sleep with me," she demanded. But Joseph refused. "Look," he told her, "my master trusts me with everything in his household, in his entire household. No one here has more authority than I do. He has held back nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How can you how can you do such a wicked thing? It would be a great sin against God." She kept putting pressure on Joseph day after day, but Joseph refused to sleep with her, and he kept out of her way as much as possible. One day, however, no one else was around when he went to do his work, and she came over and grabbed him by his cloak and demanded, "Come on now, sleep with me." Joseph tore himself away, and he left his cloak in her hands as he ran out of the house. When he saw When she saw that she was holding his cloak and he had fled, she called out to the servants. Soon all the men came out running. "Look," she said, "my husband has brought this Hebrew slave here and made fools of us. He came into the room and raped me, but I screamed. He came to the room to rape me, but I screamed. When he heard me screaming, he ran out and got away, but he left his cloak behind with me." She kept the cloak with her until her husband came home. Then she told him the story. "That Hebrew slave you brought into our house has tried to come in and fool around with me," she said. "But when I screamed, he ran out, and he's leaving his cloak with me." Potiphar was furious when he heard his wife's story, but how Joseph had treated her. So when he took Joseph, he threw him in prison, where the king's prisoners were held, and he remained there. But the Lord was with Joseph. In the prison, he showed him unfailing love, and the Lord made Joseph the favorite with the prisoner warden. Before long, the warden put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners and over everything that happened in the prison. And the warden had no more worries because Joseph took care of everything. The Lord was with them, and he caused everything he did to succeed. Now we are going to Genesis 40. Wait, let me see. It's a 40? Yes, Genesis 40. Sometime later, Joseph's chief cupbearer and his chief baker officer, offended the royal master. Pharaoh became angry with these two officials, and he put them in prison, where Joseph was, in the palace of the captain of the guards. There he remained a prisoner quite some time, and the captain of the guards assigned him to Joseph to look after them. While they were in prison, Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker each had a dream one night. Each dream had its own meaning. When Joseph saw them the next morning, he noticed that they looked upset. "Why do you look worried today?" he asked them. They replied, "We both had a dream last night, but no one can tell us what it means." "Interpreting dreams is God's business," Joseph replied. "Go ahead, tell me your dream." So the chief cupbearer told Joseph the first dream. "In my dream," he said, "I saw a grapevine in front of me, and the vine had 3 tree branches, and that began to bud and bloom, and soon it produced a cluster of ripe grapes. I was holding Pharaoh's cup in my hand, so I took the clusters of grapes and squeezed the juice into the cup. Then I placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. This is what your dream means, Joseph said. The 3 branches represent 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift you up and restore your position as his chief cupbearer. And please remember me. Do me that favor when things go well for you. Mention me to Pharaoh so that he might let me out of this place. For I was kidnapped from my homeland and the land of the Hebrews, and now I'm here as a prisoner, but I did nothing to deserve it. When the chief cupbearer saw that Joseph had given his first dream, when the chief baker saw that Joseph had given the first dream such a positive interpretation, he said to Joseph, I had a dream too. In my dream, there was 3 baskets of white pastries stacked on my head, and on top of the basket contained all kinds of pastries for Pharaoh. But the birds came and ate them, the pastries off my head. This is what your dream means, Joseph told him. The 3 baskets represent 3 days. 3 days from now, Pharaoh will lift you up and impale your body on a pole. Then the birds will come and peck away at your flesh. Pharaoh's birthday came 3 days later, and he prepared a banquet for all his officials and his staff. He summoned his chief cupbearer and his chief baker to join their office. The officials, I'm sorry. He then restored the chief cupbearer at his former position, so he could again hand Pharaoh his cup. But Pharaoh impaled the chief baker and Joseph, just as Joseph predicted when he interpreted their dreams. Pharaoh's chief cupbearer, however, forgot all about Joseph, never giving him another thought. Okay, we're going to stop there, and that is Genesis 40:23. And I'll be back, make it tomorrow to catch up. All right, thank you. Have a good day.